If you're considering buying an outdoor home security camera with a built-in light, you'll want to consider the Netatmo Presence. That's because it does something very different to most of its competitors. And that big difference is that it stores video internally on a micro SD card. There is no cloud storage service that Netatmo is trying to sell you for a monthly subscription charge. And that could make a big difference over time. A lot of Netatmo's competitors will charge a few dollars a month to store video in their cloud services, which, if you have this up for a few years, can run into the hundreds of dollars in addition to the price of the camera itself. So you could be saving money with the Netatmo Presence. If you do want to put stuff in the cloud, you can set this up to work with a Dropbox account or send video to an FTP server. One of the other big differences that comes with storing video locally, though, is that you don't need a fast internet connection. If you're living in a house with a dial-up connection or a very slow ADSL connection, this thing will work fine. Because it's not constantly streaming video out to the internet, you don't need that fast connection. Many of Netatmo's competitors request at least a 2 megabit per second connection. This thing is only a few tens of kilobits per second. The only time you need a fast internet connection is if you're going to be connecting to this remotely from outside the home and viewing video live or viewing recorded video, because then you're accessing the camera and pulling that video across the internet, so you will need a fast connection. But inside your home on your Wi-Fi network, there's more than enough bandwidth to look at the videos that it's recorded. The camera has a 100-degree field of view. That's a little bit narrower than a lot of its competitors. You can see in this comparison with a video from a Ring camera that the Ring does see a lot more of what's going on. I also found that the color was a little bit off on the Netatmo Presence as well. The camera has a built-in microphone, so you can hear what's going on in front of the camera, and that audio is recorded when it captures anything. But there's no two-way audio function. So if someone's in front of your house, you can't talk to them through this camera like you can with some of the competing devices. One of the things that Netatmo tries to do is classify what it sees into people, animals, cars, and other motion. The system works pretty well, and you can in fact tell it to only send you alerts when, say, it sees a person and not an animal. However, it wasn't perfect. I've got a couple of bird feeders near where I installed the camera, and for some reason it just kept on thinking that one of the bird feeders was a person. Inside the unit, there's this large LED light above the camera that has some infrared LEDs to provide illumination for a night vision mode, and then if it sees anything, the floodlight comes on. The power of the floodlight is 1,000 lumens, but it is adjustable, so if it's a little bit too bright for you, you can turn it down. And you can also set it to either come on automatically when it's dark, so it just provides a general night light, or you can set it to only come on when it detects motion. In terms of motion detection, you get motion detection zones with this. You can draw them on the display and it will look for motion in those areas and ignore other areas. That's useful if you've got something that continually sets off the camera, say if it's pointing in your front garden and there are cars driving by. The range of the motion detection is given as 15 meters or 50 feet, and in our tests we found it more or less worked over roughly that range. Installation of the device was pretty easy. If you're replacing an existing floodlight, you shouldn't have any problems using an existing junction box on your wall. Otherwise, you're going to need to put one up there and you're going to have to run power to it. There is no battery option with the Netatmo Presence. One of the nice surprises that I had was that it came with British wire colouring. If you don't understand that, you'll need to know that brown is hot, blue is neutral, and the yellow-green colour is your ground. TechHive rated the Netatmo Presence 4 out of 5. We love that there's no monthly subscription charge and it has a big bright LED light. But it would be great if it saw a little bit wider and it had two-way audio. You can find a complete review of the Netatmo Presence on techhive.com.